Hi guys. I just did my planning video on the other channel if you want to check that out. I had quite a day. I went, first of all, I did my get ready with me video, and then I went to Dollar Tree. I was going to, I went to get a notebook is what I went for. And guess what I found there? I didn't get very much there. I didn't get a notebook. I got some makeup wipes because I needed some makeup wipes. But they didn't have any Christmas, but they had washi. So I got this one. Isn't that pretty? That's scalloped. And I got this one. This one. Hopefully they'll keep getting it. This one, which is a Paris one, which is, I think, is very cute. And then this one, which is just the, I don't know what you call those things. But that was my big Dollar Tree haul. I don't have a lot of money, but I thought, I've got to get the washi. I've got to. So I did. My mom gave me a little bit of money to get some school supplies today. The only school supply, I went over to Walmart, and what I found was, for $1.97 they had this 5-subject notebook. It's very thick. It's got the dividers in it. And do the dividers have? No, the dividers don't have pockets, which I thought that they would, but they don't. It's not a big deal though. But I wanted something. What does that say? Perfect edge. So it must have the, yep, it does. Awesome. I mean, these are cheap. They're very cheap, but I wanted something for every one of my classes. So that's what I got there. I went to the post office. I got a Christmas card from Miss Tawny Cat. Thank you very much, Tawny. It was very, very pretty. Woo! Throwing it all over the place. Very pretty card. And inside just says, may the light of the season guide your way to the warmth of home, the love of family and friends, and the spirit of peace. Tawny and Sean Kaysen. Very pretty though. Very pretty. Thank you very much, Tawny. That was very sweet of you. And when I went to the post office, I had gotten my Walmart box. So I'm going to open that. I have not opened it. I forgot all about it, actually. I was kind of under the impression that you had to sign up for it every time, but I guess not. And, guys, I've asked you several times. I've never really... I'd like to know what kind of... oh my God, no, I'm lost for words. The thing that your camera sits on and stands on. What the hell? Old dimers. I've got it. That's for darn sure. But I just have such a heck of a time with it. This one's very nice for standing right like this, but you want to maneuver it, so that I can do my... It's really hard for me to get to... what is the matter with me? All of a sudden I'm just tongue-tied. It's very hard for me to maneuver it so I can do like my planner, so it's facing the table, etc. And this is a very nice one. It's just, it's a pain in the butt. None of the knobs seem to tighten it the way I want it tightened, etc. So I don't know. Let's open this box. It says Walmart Beauty. Walmart Beauty boxes have you covered all year long. Your winter box provides you with beauty products that are uniquely you and will soon be a part of your everyday routine. Remember to keep your look fresh by visiting your local Walmart. Somebody did a box the other day, and they said that if you are a certain age, you get old lady stuff. And if you're younger, you get more makeup stuff. I might have to change my age in my profile. Yep, I got the old lady stuff. Same as she did. Aveeno, which is very nice. This will be nice in my purse. It's just a little trial size. It's daily moisturizing lotion. And I do like Aveeno. This is Pond's Rejuveness. My eyes are getting bad again. They were getting better after my surgery. Now it's kind of weird again. Anti-wrinkle cream. Free sample and a $1 coupon of Nivea cocoa butter. Which, where's the sample? Oh, right here it is. And you know how much I love these kind of samples. I don't. Oh, Pond's wet cleansing towelettes. I wouldn't have had to buy any today. There are 5 in there. And L'Oreal Color Vibrancy Nourishing Shampoo, Nourishing Conditioner, and Color Vibrancy Antioxidant. Age Perfect Cell Renewal Golden Serum and an Age Perfect Cell Renewal Day Cream. I hate these things. Hate them. And let's see. Touchably Full for Color Treated Hair Shampoo and Touchably Full for Color Treated Hair Conditioner. John Frieda. And then this comes with the $2 coupon. And one more thing. Somebody called this old lady or something. It's Olay Tone Perfecting Cream. Yeah. Can't say I'm impressed. I like the Aveeno for my purse. That's it. The rest of it can go. I hate those kind of samples. You know, but what can you say for, what is it, $5? I mean, that's really... Okay, so, the reason for this... The whole reason for this video is I'm going to do my first weekly review for you. It is, I typed it all up and stuff, so I will be reading a lot. I'm very sorry, guys, but I cannot remember what I'm going to say otherwise. I'm going to do this every week, either on Friday or Saturday. So either Friday or Saturday I'll have this, and then Sunday will be on my other channel will be my planning video. And then I'm going to probably do one more video during the week. Once I get enough of you, I've only had somebody wanted to know if I'd do cooking videos. Well, my cooking videos would be me opening a can, or putting something in a microwave, or putting something in an oven. I am such a basic cook. I don't hardly ever make anything from scratch, or once in a while I'll make a big meal, but yet it is something that like I'll make instant mashed potatoes and gravy and corn, and I'll put some chicken strips in the oven, or I'll put one of those Hormel roast beef au jus in the microwave. That's my big meal. So it would be very boring, and I'm not going to do that to you. So I won't be cooking. Organizing, I'm probably not either. But I'd still want suggestions, because this review is fine, but you know, I don't want you to get tired of that either. But I was telling you, I started telling you, I went to the dollar store, and then I went to Walmart and got my notebook. And then I decided I'm going to go to the movies. It's $6 on Sundays. The price is going up because minimum wage is going up. Isn't that terrible? upping their prices $1 at the movie theater on both regular days and like today, which was bargain day. So anyway, I went to The Hobbit. And if any of you are Lord of the Rings fans, you would love this because it's the last movie. And I'm so sad to see it go, but it was a really a good ending to this trilogy, to the Hobbit trilogy. I love this kind of stuff. I will have more of a review on that later, but I had already written up something for today, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so like I said, I'm very sorry that I'm going to be reading a lot of this, but I'm going to tell you about the author first, and then I'll tell you about the book. Now, this is a series that I've read once already, and I'm rereading it. I'm on the second book. So anyway, it's Rachel Caine. She writes paranormal. She writes paranormal young adult. I don't get particular. Sorry about the ums. I don't particularly like young adult stuff, so I read her adult stuff. Okay. So anyway, her name is actually Roxanne Longstreet, if you've ever heard of her. So this is how do you say that word? Pseudonym? A fake name. So Rachel Caine is a pen name of Roxanne Longstreet Conrad, an American writer of science fiction, fantasy, mystery, suspense, and horror novels. Conrad also publishes media tie-in novels as Julie Fortune. Rachel Caine has been writing and publishing novels and short stories since 1991. She is a former professional musician who has the distinction of having played with such musical legends as Henry Mancini, Peter Nero, and John Williams. Besides the series I'm going to talk to you about today, she has written, as Rachel Caine, a 2-part series called Red Letter Days, a 15-book young adult series called The Morganville Vampires, if you've ever heard of that one, a 4-book series called Outcast Season, a 3-book series called Revitalist, and the Great Library series is starting in 2015. And I am looking forward. I have not read anything but this one I'm going to read you about today, or talk to you about today. So I am looking forward to reading all of those except for the Morganville Vampires, because that is young adult. Okay, so the series I'm talking to you about is The Weather Wardens. Ill Winds is the first book. So Ill Winds is an explosive debut about a group of wardens who maintain balance to the earth. Fire wardens, earth wardens, and weather wardens. Joanne Baldwin is a powerful weather warden who is running from the storm, looking for her powerful friend Lewis, and who is the only one that can save her from a demon mark. This is different paranormal because it's not vampires and werewolves and stuff. It's weather wardens and Jinn, or D-G-I-N-N, I don't know how you say it, Djinn or Jinn, that are like genies in a bottle, basically. Okay. The whole story is basically set around a huge road trip, but it's a journey definitely worth traveling. There were lots of flashbacks in the book that made you understand why she is running and looking for Lewis and the relationship she has with other characters. When she meets a handsome hitchhiker, David, things get really interesting from there, and he's not what he seems from the start. Both Joanne and David are extremely likable characters. While they aren't perfect in any sense, they are void of any void of any annoying character traits that are so common in paranormal romance and urban fantasy stuff. Like the minute they see them, they fall madly in love, or fall into bed, and they're meant for each other, this kind of stuff. Okay. Which is the same as contemporary romance, a lot of them too. So I loved how the story unfolded and felt like I was on a little journey myself, reading about the circumstances following Joanne. The way the story was set out was definitely led to an explosive finale with an ending I didn't see coming, which is very true. Okay, Heat Stroke, but book 2 that's the book that I'm on right now. I've got about 30 pages left of it. Wow, what an exhilarating ride. Heat Stroke is a way slicker book than the first one. Fast-paced and easy to get into, rather than simply a road trip and reminiscing about the times, which was pretty much sums up Illwind. I absolutely love the cool factor of both Joanne and her powers, either as a djinn or a weather warden. This book contains description of meteorology that border on being too scientific, but wow, they just blow my mind. Not to mention the descriptions of how djinn draw their power. The author holds great imagination and skillfully conveys something which seems to be difficult to understand into such a readable. Okay, I'm going to start over with that sentence. That really sounds bad. The author holds great imagination and skillfully conveys something which seems to be difficult to understand into such a readable, easily digested format. I absolutely adore the male leads in Joanne's life. David, the the sexy djinn, and Lewis, the world's most powerful weather warden. Joanne's wit, charisma, and sheer determination just matches both of these men well, and she can definitely keep up with them. Yeah, the second book, I'm not going to tell you too much about it. Just, mainly outline stuff in case you decide you want to read it. But they are such interesting books. Okay, there are a total of 9 books in this series, which the first book being released in 2003 and the last one was in 2010. Okay, so if I had the books, I would show you the covers, but I don't have the books. I'm reading them on my Nook. So, I did have the books. I sold them. But anyway, they're very interesting books. They are, like I said, not the norm for paranormal stuff. It's not. My favorite, of course, will always be werewolves. I love books about werewolves. But this is very interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about something that I've been watching on Netflix. I'm going to do this as every week too, something about Netflix. I'm absolutely addicted. I watched a movie the other day with Paul Walker. Those of you that know him from Fast and the Furious, he died last November. He was in a car accident. And this movie was released in December. So it was kind of his posthumous, however you say that, after he was dead. Okay, so the movie revolves around Nolan Hayes, played by Paul Walker. In 2005 in New Orleans, he rushes his wife Abigail to the hospital where she gives birth to a baby girl. She dies of liver failure while giving birth. The baby can't breathe on her own yet, so she's put in a neonatal incubator on a ventilator. She needs to be on the vent for at least 2 days to get her lungs working, right? Hurricane Katrina hits just about then. The hospital starts flooding and the incubator cannot be moved. They evacuate the hospital, but Nolan stays with the baby. Everybody else is gone. The battery starts dying on the incubator, so he has to hand crank it. He goes and finds this battery charger thing, but it's a hand crank thing. To keep the vent working. He has to do this every 3 minutes, and towards the end it's like every minute and a half, because the battery, otherwise the baby would die. He keeps trying to get someone's attention to save them, but the only people that come are people that want to rob him, and they want to rob him of food, basically, because and the food that he has are like cans of Coke and candy bars, and that's it. And they steal all of his candy bar. Well, he ends up killing this guy because he starts messing with the baby's vent, and so he kills the guy. So towards the end, while cranking the battery, a few days later it breaks and he has to give the baby mouth to mouth. He is so weak from no sleep and no food that he passes out. When he wakes up, there are guys there that are putting him on a gurney, and he keeps trying to tell them about the baby all the time, but he can't speak. He's just so weak. And then they hear the baby, and they go and get the baby and lay her on his chest. Well, what really gets me about this is I hate the ending. I mean, I didn't want anybody to die. You know, I didn't want that. But all of a sudden she has no vent. She has no IVs, because he had to go find IV bags, you know, for a baby too, and to give her nourishment. Well, she's just fine. She's crying and stuff, laying on his chest, and there's no IVs, there's no vents, there's nothing. So what happened to it all? It just seems very strange to me. I know it was a what do you call it? Paramedic, but wouldn't he ask, why is this baby on a vent? Should I unvent her? You know, stuff like that. Well, I guess he unvented. He had to have taken the vent out when he gave her mouth to mouth, didn't he? Anyway, you know, it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't the best movie I've seen on Netflix by far, but I was looking for something to watch, and it just kind of looked interesting. So anyway, that's my reviews for the week. I hope you liked them. I hope this gives you interest in reading the books that I talked about or seeing the movie that I talked about. I will do this again next week. I hope to get better at this. I'm not the greatest reader in the world. I am not the greatest reviewer in the world, but I'm going to give this a shot and see if it works. If you guys like it, I'll keep doing it. If you don't like it, I'll quit doing it. By the way, question and answer, I got a whole 9 questions from you guys. That's it. I wanted to get 50. I'm going to realistically take that down to 25. So please, please, please ask questions, okay? I will talk to you guys soon. I love you. Bye-bye.